Stay Alive is a survival horror tabletop role playing game with elements of violence, emotional trauma, biological infection, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident difficult with package for perhaps we will continue to keep you informed.
Where we last left our survivors. The party had made their way to the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta looking to secure a prime sample of exorcitum virus, hoping that it would prove a solution for D's current infection and grant them all the safe passage to the retirement and safety of the Ark. An individual stowaway littered among a sea of undead, Zerk roaming around wildly. The survivors pushed long and hard, losing a number of their collected force along the way. However, before they could take their last leg of the flight to arrive in said location, Crow had been separated and, through an unfortunate collection with old friends, was pulled aside by ARC operatives and seemingly dispatched quickly. Justin, Dee, and Rose then made their way via helicopter for the rest of the journey, arriving and finding the assistance of one of the administrative technicians still inside the building, looking to provide some semblance of assistance for them in securing their path. Losing two of their last remaining allied operatives through this process, D staggering forward at the tail end of consumption from this infection, and Rose both donning life suits, specially designed hazmat protection specifically for exposure to what has proven to be a more nebulous virus than they were originally told or what anyone could have originally thought. Unfortunately, as part of this process, additional efforts had to be made to allow them access to the prime sample, where Justin saw clear to collaborate with the CDC admin to provide them access remotely. Unfortunately, the arrival of the ARC operatives at the CDC proved to be a challenge Justin was unable to overcome alone. And succumbing to heavy blood loss and very low odds of survival on his own, opted to create a diversion, providing their newfound friend an opportunity to move across to the comm station to provide Dee and Rose access, losing his life in the process. We now pick up with Dee and Rose. Already deep into the bowels of the controlled virus lab, surrounded by glass office area and testing foundational equipment, surrounded by glass walls, providing this nefarious hallway of Zerk banging to be released and a number of roaming Zerk up ahead of you, now finally having caught your attention. Unfortunately, the ARC operatives in the nearby location in the fracas detonated a number of explosions, some of which seem to have been strategic as the power goes out, leaving you in your life suits in the dark, surrounded by Zerk. Dee and Rose. What happens next?
We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. Does it sound like they're getting closer? Or is it like the residual just... Because they were on the other side of glass.
Make an effort to notice, you being at the stage you are at and with the visual limitations that you have inside these suits, will be doing so out of desperation.
Okay. Oh, that made a big difference. Okay, 5.
You do see shifting silhouettes up ahead of you. There's clearly at least somewhere between a half and full dozen. As this hallway of glass corridors begins to come to an end, you see that there is an open area that segues into a transitional, probably clerical or office space of some kind. Actually, go ahead and add a well-prepared, as we currently have a hype train as well, so I will provide
oh my
the
gosh,
additional
so
benefit.
That's gonna be, what did I say? 5. So 9? Yeah, 9.
So as you see these shifting forms, it's probably closer to about 9 or so, but beyond them, probably another 15 to 20 or so feet, you recognize one of these elongated, frail, desiccated forms, but standing there quietly, arms, shoulders hunched, head tilted to the side slightly, almost staring at your collective as you inch forward in this hallway.
Does this feel reminiscent of another Zerk that just stared at us for a long moment before?
It would seem so.
Okay.
As you have drawn closer and closer to the source of this prime sample, it seems as if the mutated specimens are appearing slightly more frequently.
Just to clarify, these moving silhouettes, these are just kind of coming this way, they're moving in the distant, like what?
They don't appear to be encroaching upon you in the most immediate of senses.
And there's no barrier between us and them, correct?
Correct. There is a long, darkened hallway, probably another 35 to 40 feet.
Okay.
If they take notice of the lights in your helmets, or if they otherwise hear your approach, may be inclined to gather and start amassing in your direction. Otherwise, they seem to be aimlessly shambling, as you've seen many Zerk before.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
What do we do? What do we do? Should we go back? We could go back.
How am I feeling?
Not great. You cling to life, your muscles ache, you feel lethargy clawing at you with each new step. Not quite forced to your knee, but you definitely feel as if the fight and fervor you had on your way in is already beginning to leave you a bit.
going to... I'm going to turn to... Rose. Look. This is shit. This is shit. Okay. But I need that sample. You don't. You don't need it. I'm gonna look back. I know it's dark, but do we feel like our little tubey hosey things?
Your connected hoses still seem to be attached. I'm actually gonna say Rose. Roll a d4 for me.
4.
Okay. So, as both of you instinctually go to check on your life support connectivity, you feel the small plastic reinforced budding coupling that attaches it to your back. Feels like it has a little bit of extra stretch and give. And as you're trying to shift around, you notice on the backside of your arm something that resembles almost a melted seal. The suit that your friend Ronald had attempted to prepare to allow access to the previous people who attempted to assist in his endeavors likely damaged one of the suits in the process, and you are currently wearing the one that was repaired. And you're noticing some subtle weaknesses in it.
I'm wearing that one, right?
No, Rose's.
Roses.
Okay. We probably can't. We can't stay in here that long, and we can't get past them. I don't have any. I have this stick.
Rose.
I have this stick, but that's
Rose.
all. I'm really not good with it.
Rose. I don't have another choice. But I'm going to reach down for the hose, kind of try to grapple around to find hers and lift it and like go to put it in your hand. Like this, the part that's like trailing behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Use it to get back.
What?
I'll catch up.
D, as you remove your connected coupling, your lights go out. The system's internal backup supply immediately begins to send warning systems. There's a patterned recognition as you hear your suit slowly beginning to power down.
Wait, if her suit is powering down, can she still hear me?
Oh yeah.
You get the faded tail end semblance of some crackly communications as the computerized warning system fails out. Rose, you now look at D in a decoupled life suit. Lights out in the visor. And save for raising your voice, perhaps more notably, seems as if D can no longer directly communicate with you.
I'm gonna try to turn you around
quietly. I'm also hoping that it's not so loud that I'm getting Zerka attention unnecessarily right now. I'm going to try to turn you around.
I think you. I'll start to turn, kind of. It's still not processing, sort of like a halted. But I will grab your arm at the last second and tug a little.
I'm going to. You can't see. I don't know how well lit your suit is in terms of being able to see my face now that I'm not lit up, but I'm gonna give you a little smile, and I'm gonna shake my head, and I'm going to put my hand over yours, the one that's holding essentially your trail back, and I'm gonna try to give you a little nudge, but I'm gonna do this before I do. The universal sign for be quiet, please.
I start walking back.
As you slowly follow Dee's life support and power cable, the slight crinkling of the nylon, latex, plastic combination of her suit, just this small fade of audibility out of the backside of your periphery. And Dee, you find yourself alone in the dark and surrounded by these Zerk in this otherwise abandoned lab that is now blacked out and devoid of power. What would you like to do?
I would like to find a wall, a nearby wall that I can kind of use to gather my bearings as my eyes adjust as much as they can. I'm gonna try to stay quiet because I know I can feel the infection, so I know that like I have to get this, otherwise it's not gonna matter anyway. So I'm gonna just try to use the wall to kind of guide me. I'm going as quietly as I can. My plan is to just kind of like sneak around them. Do I get an impression of like, now that I don't have the tube connected, like do I feel any immediate effects? Or okay, so we're just gonna assume that this sample's gonna fix.
Too great to begin with, so
yeah, this sample's gonna fix it. So I'm just gonna move quietly along the wall and see if my eyes can adjust a little bit, and as quietly as possible.
Before you are able to set your mind to task to move forward in a stealthy fashion, I'd like you to make an effort to endure.
And desperation, because I'm a sad little. Infection, endurance. That's a 1.
As the virus continues to take hold of your system and you enter into the 4th stage of infection, you are forced to your knee. You find your body beginning to weaken and wane, and for a brief moment are incapacitated as you feel your respiratory system seizing up, your heartbeat audible in your ears, this flush of clearly unnatural anatomical function washing over you in a wave. Your organs erratically fighting against the inevitable at this point. A brief moment passes and you are able to maintain your wherewithal, all of your efforts in any category are now at a -4. Please make an effort to utilize your grace or fitness to move quietly through the rest of the lab.
You said -4, right? So, I will. So, I'm gonna, as I stand up, I'm going to. Nope. I'm going to. You said I can stand up, right? It's a 2,
Yep.
by the way.
You're not immobilized.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of take a minute as I'm on the ground. I've pocketed the ring, makeshift ring, and I'm just going to. I can't get to it, but I'm gonna pat kind of over my suit wherever I tucked it away, and kind of just give myself a minute, take a deep breath, get myself to my feet, and try to shuffle forward. Not very gracefully, though. That's a 2.
Okay. And as you begin to move forward using the glass, you move by feeling the vibrations as you feel Zerk pounding into it from within, just trying to maintain focus. You see this mass of Zerk at the end of the hallway kind of coalescing. Your hand slips and you begin to kind of stumble forward, just barely able to catch yourself before completely crashing to the ground. But after a few more steps, you're forced to slump and lean into the glass itself, this loud, hollow doo. And as you fight to just push yourself off of it, the paleness of your own reflection in the visor, now not that dissimilar from the Zerk you're looking at as they shift and begin to turn their heads in your direction. Not a hunter's instinct, but clearly a curious follow-up. The deterioration of their forms and the dim light, probably a much more significant hindrance for them than you at the moment. But you do have the better part of a dozen Zerk within about 20 or so feet, blindly shambling your direction now. What would you like to do?
Do I know how far away am I from my destination? All bad.
You can make an effort to notice in a desperate situation if you would like.
The 2. So.
Your form unable to focus past the threats in front of you, unfortunately. You know it lies beyond, but how far is a bit more of a question mark.
All right. Well, I'm either going to get that sample or I'm going to die here anyway. So I'm going to quicken my pace. I'm a little less concerned about being quiet. I'm just going to grit my teeth and I'm just going to try to, shove through them. Maybe I'm close enough to being a Zerk that they won't care. I am running very quickly out of time. I'm very aware that I'm running out of time. I'm going to try to, I'm not going to go through them. I'm going to like try to skedaddle, but I am moving much faster.
Okay.
And sacrificing some quietness because clearly they already know I'm here.
I'll give you an opportunity to harness your grit and charge through, or use your fitness to try and dart in between the limited gaps that might exist.
That last one wasn't even accurate. Oh, no, it was. I did remember. Cool. That's going to be a 2 for fitness.
Okay. So, rocking from the heel that you caught yourself on to the tips of the toes as you try to begin this forward momentum charge, looking to at least get going the right direction. Your immediate reaction sees you collide shoulder to shoulder with one of these Zerk as you are trying to navigate through the space, sending it tumbling, but immediately drawing a significant amount of Zerk attention. As you begin looking around the office area beyond, seemingly concealing additional bodies that, almost as if being birthed from hibernation, are paying attention to their surroundings in a new capacity. The stationary Zerk you saw at a distance now raising up its shoulders, losing the slump, staring at you with almost curiosity as the surrounding Zerk begin moving towards you aggressively.
Cool. I'm going to look straight at that standing Zerk and yell, "Fuck you," and I'm going to run.
Roll a d4, please.
3?
So, as you begin charging forward, it's this loose, ugly, uncoordinated stumble as your body is refusing to cooperate in some capacities. And you feel this claw swipe at your arm, a protective barrier still between you and the outside, but it's quickly coupled with another. And then another as you try to push through, these Zerk begin grabbing at you, and there is a bit of a fervor and frenzy surrounding your immediate location.
Just gonna yell obscenities and punch, click, claw, kick, as much as I weigh. Still trying to get where I'm going.
Make an effort to endure, please.
Ooh. Oh. That's a -3.
Pushing, shouldering, falling, and stumbling through, you now see multiple lacerations in the exterior of the suit, and through a couple of them, additional blood just creeping outside its exterior. A voice coming across the comms. Overhead speakers somewhere in the room. I see you. Let me know when you're ready. I can. And you see this door open at the very end of the lab, a slight luminant walkway of white panel flooring emerging in front of you, the only light that now sheds itself into the entire laboratory section. One of the last things you're able to see as the virus takes over. You, standing there, feel yourself succumbing, and almost one by one feel parts of your body begin to shut down that you've assigned to some subconscious bodily function that now feels missing. The form beginning to give way, and the instinctual drive to run no longer responding. What are these last words?
No, I think that's her last word. I think she kind of sees it, and it is as it's kind of fading out of view, there's a thought to reach for it. I don't know if her body even responds. Fuck.
I've spent a lot of my life alone. Sometimes by chance, sometimes by choice. I learned pretty early on that you can't trust most people. And the short list of people I did trust, well, that list only ever got shorter. Until I met Crow. He made me feel safe. Less alone. I assumed he'd be the one still standing beside me in the end. Well, you know what they say about assuming. Whatever. None of it matters anymore. Maybe it never did. Because here I am. All alone. Again. I guess this is where I leave you.
Rose, as you back out of the lab entryway, the limited light you have left just allowing you to watch the dancing silhouettes at the opposite end of the hallway where you see Dee's form stop moving. A brief moment goes by and you see this slouched, beleaguered form stop charging forward before you see it straighten up. You see it begin to look around erratically. Crow. As you find yourself standing in a makeshift grave that you have dug for yourself. Jess' body still lying next to you, just having been removed from life only moments ago. ARC operative Gear offering you the assurance that he would not harm Dee before raising a small compact submachine gun. Goodbye, Crow. Do you have any last words?
See you in hell. You better hope I don't come back.
Just when I thought I understood you. Maybe I was wrong.
Gonna do it, do it.
You're right. Sorry. And as he raises his gun up, waiting for it to come, you hear this shot ring out. And immediately hear, ah, fuck, ah. And look up to see Gear scrambling behind the truck that had brought you to this location. Another shot from a distance rings out, and you see this hole immediately emerge in the side of the engine block. Scattered fire coming from some great distance, probably off to your left. some kind of rifle fire. What would you like to do right away, Crow?
Well, if Gear has run like a little chicken shit, and there's a fire coming down the line, I should probably see myself out.
So quickly kind of climbing out of this makeshift grave, you hear this heavy heaving and breathing, this stream of expletives and obscenities as it sounds like Gear is trying to dig a slug out of his ballistic vest. And then you hear a voice from a distance. Poppy. You see Crow emerge from the grave that he dug for himself. Your target now hiding behind the wheel well of the truck used to abscond Crow from your immediate surroundings. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna walk towards him. We need to go.
Rose? Shit. Where the
No,
Where the
we
fuck
need
did
to
you-
go though.
Go-
Now.
Where's D and Justin? Come, all right, let's move.
I'm gonna lead away. I'm actually going to lead back towards where I first saw Crow. I'm
Okay.
gonna lead him back towards the airbase.
Okay. And as you begin moving, you hear fire coming your direction, and quickly a familiar face to you, Crow, steps up as you see Operative Sexy jumping on a small mound of dirt and returning fire at a distance. You got him! Let's go! Dumping rounds back at the area where Gear seems to be returning fire from. A black Humvee at some distance, having previously departed, now making its way back over the hill as you see Gear now taking a more offensive position, looking to use the vehicle as cover, but is clearly lining up shots in an attempt to exchange. Are either of you doing anything else right away?
I'll return a few shots.
I'm just gonna keep
go
running
ahead and make
forward.
an effort to be accurate, sure.
I'm just gonna keep going because if Rose is here, I'm just gonna start looking for D and Justin and the rest of the crew.
Okay.
That's okay. That makes more sense. That's an 8.
Okay. So at this distance, unstable platform, looking to run away, it's definitely going to be significantly tougher to hit any kind of target. Gear is well covered at this point, and you are able to send a pair of rounds in succession near the vehicle, causing him at least to duck down. Your and Operative Sexy's fire causing the at least temporary reprieve from additional bullets headed your way, allowing Crow to more expeditiously make an escape. But moving directly through the forest line that is just off of the edge of this farmland that Crow was driven into the middle of, you ultimately find yourself hiding in the woods, almost cat and mouse style, as you hear the engines for the vehicles revving up at a distance. Gear and whatever ARC operatives he has with him, clearly looking to give chase in some capacity. What are you all looking to do?
All right, where's everybody else? How we getting out of here?
There's no everybody else. And I'm not Rose.
This ain't no time for fucking around, Rose.
Sure, fine. I'm Rose. We need to find a vehicle. Fast.
What about the chopper, Mama?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
about that, Crow.
turn-
It's
Yeah, I'm gonna
complicated.
turn. Can
Did
you fly?
not- It's okay. Gosh. And you see Sexy Quick eyeing down the sights of the barrel for this assault rifle, ejects the magazine. Let's just work with the answer being yes. Pro, are you hurt? Can you make it to the hangar?
I'm good.
You see him pull out a small sidearm and flip it around to grab the barrel before handing it over to you. We're running low on metal. Try and keep it tight.
I check the chamber, check the mag.
Yep. Press check has one in. Magazine seems like it doesn't actually fill until about halfway up. So you're definitely running a little bit low on ammunition for what is otherwise probably only a 12-round mag to begin with. But it seems as if all of Operative Sexy's magazine pockets are now empty, flat to his chest. You're kind of working with the limited materials you have available. And without saying another word, you see Sexy begin to dart back through the wood line, looking to move towards that direction.
I follow.
Okay. So, as you hear these engines rev up, the car is clearly moving fast and hard. One, a very large flatbed-styled pickup truck, and the other more of a tactical operation Humvee-styled vehicle. Both black, one with a large red letter A on the side of it, a company corporate insignia, if you will. As they enter the wood line, their pace slows briefly. You see them casting eyes back and forth. You see Sexy immediately put the rifle up, trying to duck and hide behind a tree just to obscure some of his silhouette. Poppy and Crow, are you looking to fight? Or are you looking to hide?
Hide.
I follow suit.
Okay. Need both of you to make an effort to be graceful, please.
That's a 1.
Sorry, Poppy, what was it? Can't hear you.
8.
Okay. So as the cars begin to slowly move forward, almost canvassing the wood line back and forth, Poppy, you sink down behind a rather wide tree, more than enough to swallow the silhouette of your form. Operative Sexy tucks his rifle, leans back against a fallen tree, trying to hide behind the stump for extra cover low to the ground. Crow, maybe not picking the right tree and maybe not being subtle about the peek out to see if they have passed, clearly skylines himself a little bit, providing an opportunity to get caught up. You see the vehicles come to a stop. Operative Gear getting out of the front vehicle. The Humvee behind it stopping with a driver getting out, a passenger, 2 more from the back, and a 5th operative retreating from the rear of the vehicle. You hear Gear. They're on foot. They still have another mile plus to go. They're lost in the woods and they have no equipment. Don't fuck this up. Bring them in. Not immediately catching Crow in their eye line somehow. But you see 2 operatives begin walking away from you. 2 begin walking towards you. Gear moving towards the front of the vehicle, holding an assault rifle, casually glancing around as you see a secondary operative move towards the back of this small train. It seems as if you have not been immediately discovered, but the 2 operatives are sweeping the area and moving your way. What would you like to do?
Does it seem like if I was to sink down a little bit and try to somehow magically make myself smaller and less noticeable, that if when the operatives get closer, I might be able to, I don't know, subdue them hand to hand?
They both appear armed. If you were looking to do so quietly, you would probably have your work cut out for you by yourself. Avoiding detection is certainly possible, but substantially harder now that they are actively scanning the area. And trying to overpower them one-on-one, unless you intend to use your weaponry, is likely to be a tall hurdle to clear.
All right.
What would you like to do?
What does Sexy look like he's getting ready to do?
He still has his rifle tucked into his chest, hasn't moved or looked up yet, has no real idea that you're about to be encroached and your position is being closed in on. You can tell that he's clearly listened to and has heard some of the instructions, so he's almost looking to you as someone who is standing up with a potential sight line to provide intel.
I want to use hand signals and 2 this way, 2 that way.
Is there anything on the ground that I could throw away from us?
I mean, you're in a forest, so there's going to be twigs
Sure, like
and
a
rocks
rock?
and things of that
Sure.
nature.
Can I find a rock and throw it
Sure.
far away in some other direction that is not here?
Okay. Crow, as you make your gestures to Operative Sexy, you see him slowly take the support from his weapon off from around his neck, uncoils it from his wrist, slowly sliding it across his body to set it down next to him before you see him pop the button on the bayonet knife that he pulls from a draw holster on his chest, kind of looking up at you. You see him turn the knife around, grabbing it by the blade. Sort of recoiling his body, looking to leverage all of the explosive force he can muster into one quick, aggressive move. Poppy, I'm going to say go ahead and make an effort to... I'm going to say this is... I'll let you use your accuracy or your fitness on this.
Okay. Not my sister. That is a 6.
Oof. Okay. So as you cast it off, more aiming towards the area that you originally sprinted out from, the point where you first entered some of the thicker tree line, you see both of them stop, immediately sharing similar hand signals to what Crow and Operative Sexy have been utilizing. They provide each other a nod, one of them dropping down to a knee, taking aim, providing the majority of their profile to you, as you see another begin to move towards the location where you threw the stone. They're moving away slowly but surely, looking to investigate some of the commotion, hoping to find hidden survivors somewhere tucked away behind a log or rock. But you now have probably only about 15 to 20 or so feet away one of these operatives covering this investigative move.
Ooh, that's a rough sprint.
Does this change any of your plan of attack?
So he's just staying back for cover fire. He's not moving forward.
Not with the second agent, no.
Just gonna hang tight for a moment.
Okay. You see Sexy kind of almost roll over slowly now, bracing his hand against the trunk, almost winding up the tip of the blade, sort of looking at you. Still not having emerged to actually see what's going on beyond.
One is still back there. Another one is walking that way.
You see him stop and think, kind of flips the knife a few times, this preponderance, catches it by the tip again. Stands at the ready, the hand back in the cocked and loaded position. I'll provide Poppy and Crow another opportunity to hide and be graceful if you would like.
Oh man, graceful. That's
I am one
rough.
with the earth.
I'm
one,
like
one with
leaf.
the earth. I am indeed one with the earth.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good. That's a 9 for me.
Okay. So, Poppy, as you sense that the opportunity might exist for the operative's investigative sweep to be slightly disrupted, allowing you to maneuver, otherwise avoid immediate detection. Crow 2 trying to maneuver into a safer position, the large heavy boot racking across a number of loose stones that causes the foot to slip. A loud scrape from his previously concealed position now sees both positions stop. I think we've got some questionable activity south end of the road. Let's get an additional operative over here. And now you see Op Sexy.
Who's by the vehicle? How far away is it?
Gear and a yet unknown operative. But a couple moments later, you see Gear and this operative talking before that operative begins following suit, moving into the wood line as well. At this point, Sexy, having reached over, just using the pistol grip of the assault rifle, having laid it back across his chest. And Sexy immediately jumps up and throws the blade, looking to lock onto the operative immediately in the closest vicinity possible, and segueing to a rifle as you begin to line up the other operative. Go ahead and make an effort to be accurate, Crow.
All right, there we go. That's a 9.
So, in quick succession, you see Operative Sexy throw this blade that absolutely buries itself in the chest of the operative in front of you before quickly crumpling to the ground, This perfectly aimed strike with devastating effect. Not even able to get up and coil the strap on his weapon before you've seen that operative thud to the ground. And immediately emerging from behind your rock, you extend your hand out to a stable foundation point, leaning your weight against the nearby terrain, racking off a single shot that you see knock down the operative who is currently waiting to move back your direction. Though the shot itself was absolutely where you'd want to put it, you see them quickly kind of roll and turn out of the way, probably expressing similar groans to what you heard from Gear not long before. Probably having put a small caliber round in the body armor of this operative.
So he took one in like the shoulder and then like rolled over so his stomach is facing the ground?
It's hard to say for sure, right? You didn't see a spray or no kind of like immediate arterial mess. But if you put it center mass, and this operative is equipped similar to what you've observed and identified, it's likely that you put a round in the body armor.
Well, that's one. What direction is he currently facing?
Rolling out of the way, looking specifically to obscure your immediate line of sight, kind of now just obscured by some of the trees, rocks, and natural terrain of the area, but no more than 35 or so feet away.
And how far away is the one that has a knife in his chest and his gun laying on the ground?
Probably about 10 feet.
I'm gonna look over at Poppy Rose. What's Poppy doing?
Poppy's looking for if she can. I'm trying to get to a clear run to the vehicle.
Okay. So you do have the back guard
yeah.
operative beginning to move your direction.
Okay.
And after Crow's pistol shot ringing out, you see both Gear and this additional operative beginning to move aggressively in a very tactical capacity your direction. The additional two operatives probably not far behind.
All right. Is it possible for me to just make a couple of quick movements and baseball slide over to the now dead or dying body?
Sure.
And retrieve the knife and then put the knife back in its head and go for its weapon?
Make an effort to utilize your fitness. And Poppy, what are you going to be doing when you see these additional operatives move towards you?
I have not done anything, so I feel like their attention should not be on me. Is there like a tree or anything where I could kind of like wait till they get to a certain point where I can... Probably not. I'm going to try to remain hidden. I'm not gonna fire just yet, but as soon as they no, I am. I'm gonna shoot, but I'm gonna shoot at the ground. I don't want to actually shoot them, like at their legs. You know, like I'm not trying to kill anybody over here.
Sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, Crow, what did you get on your fitness effort?
That was only a 13.
Okay. So, like a Rambo doll straight out of the box in mint condition, Crow quickly tumbling over the log Sexy was hiding behind, moving towards the downed operative, and in this singular motion as part of the slide, removing the knife and using it almost as a brake stop before jamming it back into the operative to finish the move in a single stroking maneuver before relieving the now dead operative of their weapon. A relatively standardized looking M4 styled assault rifle.
All right.
And as soon as you emerge into the clear, though, you do see Gear at some greater distance and this additional armored operative moving your direction, with the closer one of the two immediately looking to open fire in your direction. Roll a d4 for me, please, Crow.
That's a 2.
Okay. So, Poppy, as you fire off a shot that splits the difference between where Gear is and this additional operative moving forward, both of them quickly ducking and covering before this head emerges back into view, only for the briefest of moments as Crow is making his move and lets off this spray of gunfire in Crow's direction. In the heat of the moment, the adrenaline building, you do not feel the sting right away, Crow. But as you quickly move back to cover, the sting that would exist is replaced by a deep, powerful ache. The sensation of wetness as you look down to see your thigh beginning to bleed rather profusely. A bullet having entered near the top of the muscular portion of your leg.
All that muscle didn't slow it down.
Bullet might still be in there.
Is there a exit wound on the back of the leg?
I invite you to make an effort to apply medicine in a desperate situation if you would like to do so.
Nah, I'm good. It's not even worth the roll. I'm just gonna keep going.
Okay. So at this point in time now, Poppy, you see Crow staggered, instinctively flinching and reacting, but quickly moving behind cover, now armed with a more appropriate and beneficial weapon. What would you like to do?
Oh, okay. How far away is the vehicle again?
Probably the
I
better
have the
part of
keys.
60 or so feet.
Oh my god. I only have this gun. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna shoot this time at them, I guess.
Who are you shooting at?
I'm shooting at. I'm gonna shoot at Gear because Gear seems like he's in charge.
Sure. Go ahead and make a effort to be as accurate as possible.
That's a 9.
Okay. So at some distance, as you see them immediately moving up, you quickly pop out from behind your hidden cover, letting loose around, and you immediately see Gear's form spun and tumbled before disappearing out of view, slightly rolling back down the rising bridgeway in between you and this small berm of soil, providing your immediate cover. Shortly thereafter, you see Sexy pop up, stops, almost hesitating for a brief moment before you almost hear this deep squeezing off a single round, and the operative immediately firing off against Crow is thrown backwards, hands in the air, as you see the only thing remaining connected is the weapon that is still tethered by the strap around their form. See him put the gun up, immediately roll back behind cover aggressively. I think I got one. What's the plan? We're in deep shit.
Yeah, nah, my leg is bleeding. Pretty sure I got shot. Feels like I got shot. I've been shot before. I've definitely been shot.
Fortunately, you have 2. Rose, you ready to move?
Yes. Sure, fine. Yes, I'm ready. Probably faster than
Look,
at least you.
we might have a brief moment before the other 2 make it back across. I say we move for the truck.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Go! And you immediately all begin sprinting and kind of moving forward. Crow, maybe a bit more of a hobble.
I can endure this pain.
We shall see. Make an effort to do so. As you progress beyond, you actually see Sexy come almost to this sliding stop before scrambling backwards, removing the knife from that operative, kind of wiping it on his vest before putting it away. All right, now we can go. And continues running towards the truck. What did you get on your effort to endure?
That's an 8.
Okay. You're definitely feeling the pain. It's not slowing you down entirely. You're able to move at relative expeditious pace. Poppy, clearly more adept than you've seen Rose before.
Did you want endurance or fitness for me?
You would be a fitness.
Okay, yeah, and that was right.
Okay. Eventually making your way to the vehicle. It seems as if, due to the nature of their temporary abandonment, the keys still remain inside the vehicle. Immediately fired up as Sexy practically dives through the driver's side door, starting it up, and the gas is smashed as you begin to quickly accelerate away from the scene, moving back towards the aircraft hangar.
As we accelerate from the scene, can I just kind of pop out and just open up on the tires of the other one?
Sure, make an effort to be accurate.
Yahtzee. That's a 12.
Okay, so as Sexy hops into the driver's side, Rose's apparent form sliding across the hood practically before moving into the passenger seat, and you leaning out of the open and exposed rear passenger door, racking off rounds that see the Humvee behind you come to a full tilt. Immediately getting smaller and smaller in the distance as you see two operatives on the opposite side scurrying onto the roadway, raising guns up your direction before lowering them down. Another form slowly beleaguered, making their way to the edge of the road, all three of these operatives staring at you as you drive away. You see them exchange some kind of chatter before leaving the vehicle and walking away from your direction. Well, that worked out.
Hurry, they might still be there. Hurry.
All right, Rose, I'm going to need you to take a look at my
name is
leg.
not Rose.
Okay.
Whatever existential crisis you're having right now, I just need you
We've
to
all
take
had a
look
hard
at my
day,
leg.
Crow. We all got things that we're going to have to atone for soon anyway.
Just drive.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm going to apply some pressure to my leg.
Okay. As you begin to near the hangar, Operative Sexy's nerves on having to actually fly it, clearly taking some precedent, but reasonably confident that he might be able to accomplish such a maneuver. That brings us to Rose. You are inside the locked area of the laboratory testing facility. Zerk still very much all around you, and now Dee's form having gone through some disastrous episode. You see her form turn around, and these arms accosting her almost seem to turn into these catting paws. And immediately there's this gradual shift. You notice this therming swarm around Dee's form beginning to dissipate before you see her turn around. The unilluminated interior now backlit by the door opened on the opposite side of the laboratory, flooding the central hallway with light, the glass within the laboratory itself reflecting the moving parts and pieces every direction. And you see her face raise up. Her skin as pale as you've ever seen it. Barely distinguishable black streaks cutting through the veins in her face. And as you are looking to get a gauge of what it is taking place or what is going on, you see Dee's form take slow, measured steps. The form again standing upright, eventually coming to this stable position, almost feet together at attention. And the slight crinkle of plastic as you eventually see her arm raise up, reaching out towards you. This loud howl that you've come to know as part of the Screecher alert system sees the infected in the immediate area begin to shift their attention your way. The banging continuing to intensify as you start to hear some of the glass laboratories around you breaking and shattering as the fervor of Zerk within begin to swarm outward. And you feel the hard and resistant backdrop of the locked lab corridor door as you bump into it. What would you like to do?
Okay. Okay. I will. Is there a keypad on this side?
There is.
There's no chance. What's his shit? Whatever his name was. Maybe. I saw him put it in. Is there any chance? Am I smart enough to know how to assess to see like what buttons I'm supposed to push? How do I get out of here?
It seems as if Ronald's ability to open the door was pretty limited to begin with, and he did not successfully input the code the first few times that he tried to do so. I'm going to say go ahead and make an effort to apply your an effort at science.
Okay. Oh, 10?
So, the security built into these is clearly high-end. The quick and erratic attempts to brute force the system open, yielding no results, causing you to think in a separate measured step. And as these Zerk slowly begin to shamble your direction, you begin hearing a very different and pronounced noise. From a distance, there is automatic gunfire, but also some scattered pistol fire that you're hearing. There is a huge mishmash of sensations and audibility. And as you now begin to hear the Zerk closing in on you, you actually hear the door open up as they go in to immediately grab at your form, closing in on your space. I am going to say make an effort to be graceful, and as you are seeing Rose's form accosted, the door in front of you immediately opening, David, do you have any immediate actions that you wish to take as well?
Can I take a shot at the closest one to whomever the stranger is?
Make an effort to be as accurate as possible, please.
Of course. It's a 12.
Okay. And what weapon is David wielding right now?
I've got my hunting rifle up right now.
Sure. So, Rose, as you feel these hands grip at your back, almost as if you're about to be pulled and disappear within the poorly illuminated interior of shattered glass and Zerk-infested laboratory ways, a loud shot rings out, and immediately in front of you, David, describe what it is Rose would be looking at here.
Sure. You see kind of an odd looking individual. It's kind of fairly average height for a man with this kind of long brown hair. It just seems like it's grown out of control. It's got some waves in it that right now it's just kind of held back in a ponytail. You can see he's got kind of a mishmash of clothing on, pretty normal t-shirt, jeans, but has what looks like a cooking apron of some sort on with things stuffed in pockets on this cooking apron in front of him.
Okay. And for whatever reason, circumstances being what they are, this now mysterious stranger appearing before you, a loud shot, even through the protection of the life suit, causing a bit of a ring in your ears, now offers you potential assistance to make your way out of immediate danger, at the very least, looking to leave the dangerous Zerk behind. What is it either of you would like to do?
What the hell are you doing in here?
What? There. Shut the door. Shut the door.
Okay, shut the door.
So trying to quickly clamber through and shut it. Actually, I'm going to say either David or Rose. I'll give it to either one of you, well prepared with assistance. Make a effort to utilize your fitness just to power this door closed, or brawling if you'd prefer to try and clear a little space.
I could brawl the door.
Yeah, you're gonna
shut.
have to.
Okay, and you said I was well prepared, though, right?
Correct.
Excellent. That's very, very helpful. 7.
Okay. The Zerk you're dealing with directly in front are aggressive, but not particularly strong. It seems like they've been isolated and locked away in this area for an extended period of time, not really providing a whole heck of a lot of resistance immediately, and whatever hosts they had originally taken over, probably not maybe best known for their physical prowess. Eventually, thrust kicking one of these Zerk, looking to bar and fill the gap in between that section and the laboratory of death beyond. You see David kick this Zerk out of the way, closing the door and seeing the lab itself shielded off.
I'll turn to this person in this large suit in front of me. And again, just kind of like trying to usher away from where we are through kind of one of the back hallways that I'd used to get here. What the hell are you doing here? There's Zerk all around this building. I don't even know how the fuck you got in here. There are dudes with guns just chilling in the lobby. Literally, why would anybody be here right now? What? Are you a doctor? Are you a scientist?
No. Who are you? I'm like shakily trying to like pull this suit off of myself, like trembling.
I'll like reach out and help with some of the couplings. Name's David. I'm the New Eden. I'm the head chef.
What? What?
My name is David. I'm from New Eden. It's a little community that some of us have established not too far away, and I am the head chef. That's who I am. Who are you?
There's, you don't. Who do you? I gotta. There's a. We gotta find. I gotta find Justin. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. How do we get out?
Yeah, I can get you out of here. Same way that I got in. Who's Justin?
My friend. I gotta find my. We came back. This is the way we came, right? Like, this is how I got in. Okay.
And it's probably actually right about this time you begin to receive similar warning notices that you had heard from Dee's suit eventually begin to ring out. The exterior of the lab clearly much safer, but the longevity of your life suit clearly powering down towards the tail end of its life.
Okay, because this is kind of like a airlock situation, right? So we've made past one door, we need to get past the other one. Okay.
Correct.
I'm just gonna start hustling. David, I don't know you. So I'm gonna just start hustling in that direction because I gotta get out of this, like on the verge of a panic attack, trying really hard not to look back. I really don't, I don't want to see D. So I'm trying to just hustle.
Is Rose running into the mess of things that I'm trying to avoid actively right now?
Rose seems to be leaving some of the quarantine lab area, looking to get back out into the more commercial CDC space, potentially including the lobby, entryway, overall mezzanine area to some extent. They're all going to be approximately the same direction, but then again, there is no sort of clear and straightforward path from the immediate 10 feet outside the airlock, at least for the moment. So,
is there something waiting for you over there? Otherwise, I feel like the surface stairwell that I used to get in here that doesn't have anything hostile in it is probably the safer course of action. Unless you like really are dying to go find some men in tactical gear and some Zerk. I mean, I don't particularly want to go deal with that right now, if you catch my drift.
Question, Deej. How far from where we are standing having this conversation did we get dressed? Where did I leave my stuff?
it would have been just outside the airlock.
Okay. I'm gonna just keep trying to strip this suit off as soon as I gotta get out of this thing. I want to go back and get my little fire backpack if it's still sitting there.
Sure.
Okay.
It seems as if Justin did not borrow that as part of his efforts.
Okay, I'll grab it. I've got everything, and I'll just turn back to David. What else did we leave here? I don't remember. If there's anything else useful, I'll grab it.
I don't think he
remember.
had anything of note.
I know one of us gave Justin
took a firearm.
the gun.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's
okay.
Rose's raccoon. And,
I'll get the fire backpack. That's it. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn back towards David from New Eden. We gotta go. We can't leave though. We have to. There's people out there. So is there a different way?
Way to where exactly?
I don't know where he went. I just know that he went that way and he was going to meet me on the other side, but obviously I can't get through that way. So is there a way to the other side?
You know, this is honestly, I'm not like an expert in this particular building and navigating it. I don't work here. I heard the sound of gunfire and thought I would just poke my head in and see what was happening. I don't know. I can't get you to another part of the building successfully. I can get you out of the building, and anyone whom you care about who can also get out of the building successfully can meet us outside of the building. I can promise you that. But
Well, he's not gonna know. Okay.
you want to leave a note? Hold up. I'll reach into one of the pockets of my apron and like pull out a little like pad of paper and a pencil. Want to leave a note? Be like, hey, Justin, it's not safe in the building. It's literally on fire.
Wait, the building's on fire?
You would be surprised. Did you know that a helicopter crashed into the roof of the building?
Oh, I'll leave a note. And I'll just scribble out a note for Justin. I will not outline where I'm going or who I'm with in case he's not the one that finds the note. But I will just essentially leave a note that I'm leaving the building and try to meet me outside, kind of a vibe.
Okay.
That was perfect.
So, David, leading Rose quickly through the separated corridor, basically the opposite spectrum run of mildly twisting underground passageway that ultimately saw the survivors arrive from the opposite direction of the building previously. Without too much complication, issue, or effort, you do find yourself navigating towards a service stairwell. A secondary exit sees a enclave built into the foundational hillside that supports the backside of the center itself, opening a set of double doors from a push bar handle on the interior. Opening slow to check your surroundings, and with the exception of some scattered Zerk that seem to have accidentally moved over or otherwise been inside beforehand for some reason, the perimeter enclosure of the building itself, it seems relatively safe. Rose, make an effort to notice, please.
And
You see a pair of individuals. One wearing jeans, one wearing maybe kind of a machine shop work pant. Both seemingly wearing heavier boots at some vague distance. Probably the better part of at least 100 or so yards. Firing shots off in the distance opposite your direction. Dealing with some kind of advancing Zerk or some vague threat or something to that effect. David, as your eye is drawn to these individuals, their overall appearance, the specific nature of the individuals perhaps eludes you at this distance, but you can recognize certain components and features signifying maybe their likely affiliation. These are part of the Legionnaires. And as you see one of the shots ring out from a shouldered press rifle, Rose, you see Justin's form moving quickly through the air in this and landing on one of the individuals after a 3-step leap that sees him cover 15 feet in the air.
To unshoulder my hunting rifle, please.
The feet protruding through uniquely standout white sneakers, the hands, arms, and fingers unusually elongated. Even at this distance, the proportions twisted and deformed. The figure that falls stays down, and immediately you see Justin's form turn and shift, and these claws eviscerating this individual almost in a moment. A mutated specimen of Zerk that you have encountered previously, but never with such a familiarity. David and Rose, what would you like to do?
Kind of just take Rose by the shoulder and just try to pull her into this enclave so that we can maybe stay out of the line of sight of this creature. I don't know that I'm going to be a sure enough shot to take it out before it can get to us right now.
Okay. After a brief moment, the forms are eviscerated. Justin's form crouched down almost on haunches, sniffing close to the bodies before you see this unusually explosive power in Justin's already rather fit and agile form, quickly springing out of view, moving fast, moving with a great dexterity and agility, continuing the hunt.
All right, so I don't know how familiar you are with all the different variations of these things that we see, but we see a whole lot of them in this particular part of the country for some reason. So we got to sprint that way, and I'm going to say pointing just kind of a rough direction away from this building. Get down by that tree line over there, and from there I think we ought to be pretty safe to make our way back to New Eden. Are you in okay shape to run right now?
What? I'm not. I'm not. Yes.
Rose, the alternative is to wait here and die.
Okay.
Are you in good condition to run right now? 30 seconds, we'll be in the tree line, we'll be clear.
Okay.
All right. Do you want me to carry anything for you?
No.
Okay. Follow me. And I'll take you to New Eden. We'll take care of you. You hungry? I think I can pick something up for you when we get back.
Oh, okay.
All right, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna take off sprinting.
I'll follow.
Okay. As the pair of you begins to move, you see in front of you a downed individual. A figure that seems to be clad in tactical gear, wearing full padded armor that is secured, tied tight around their form, additional plates that function largely like pauldrons, but in their grip, splayed directly across their chest. It appears to be a rather unique weapons platform. Something unusually advanced, almost intimidating to look at in terms of its complexity, but in its loosest silhouetted form appears to be much like a standard rifle. A screen, almost like a camcorder, popping out on one side, and the barrel seeming to be largely bent. But a number of high-tech arms and levers, as well as a small joint on the side of it, seem to suggest it is meant to do so by design. Special equipment provided perhaps by only the most dedicated and supportive operatives, however, in this rare and specific circumstance, bequeathed to a survivor in need.
As
This is as we're running by this form?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. As we're running, I'll take a quick look at Rose. I'll meet you in the tree line, and I'll split off just fast enough to go pick up whatever this is. Got time to look at it later before continuing to meet Rose in the trees.
Okay. Yeah, after a quick sort of analysis of it, go ahead and make an effort to apply your sciences here.
Okay. It's a 5.
Whatever it is clearly very advanced. There are a lot of moving parts, a number of buttons, much heavier / taller set of barrels than you would expect. It's difficult to discern how everything works right away, but you do get the very definitive and distinct impression this is a rifle of some kind meant to shoot around corners.
We'll figure out how this thing works later.
Okay.
When we get into the tree line, take a moment, catch our breaths. I just look at Rose, like, I don't think you ever answered my question. What are you doing here? Where are you from?
We were, I don't know, they sent us to get this thing. I think it was like a trick. I don't know. There's these guys, and they sent us, and so we got all the way here, and we kind of crashed the helicopter in the ceiling, but it wasn't, we didn't. The thing is that, like, there's people chasing us also, and I don't really know where. Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do now because, like, I don't know. Everybody's gone. I don't know. There's like I don't know.
Sounds like you've been through an awful lot. I tell you what, let's go. If you're all right with it, take you back to New Eden. You can get a good meal in your belly and have a bed to sleep in. And you're welcome to figure out what's next from there. And if whoever your friend in the building here, I think he said Justin, if he comes looking for you, I'll send someone out just to keep an eye out. Make sure we bring him back.
Okay.
Hey, you're gonna like it. We've got a lot of cool folks.
As the pair of you begin slowly moving towards the tree line, you still hear this scattered gunfire in the distance. But you hear this voice, probably just from a short ways behind you, a little ways north, towards where from the front of the building would be. Oh, shit. David, is that you? David?
No, pardon?
And you turn and see a heavily mulleted, largely unkept, something in the vein of a very definitive good old boy wearing a flanneled vest, heavy jean jacketed sleeves, either sewn to or around the exterior of it, looking to thicken it up. A large, crudely drawn depiction of some kind of sabered style sword on the side of one of the vests. Oh. Aren't you a little far from home? You're due back by noon there, aren't you?
Oh, sure. Was just going for a little stroll and heard a ruckus. Thought I'd come just make sure
Ruckus.
that no one was in need of help. But seems like you and your fellas got everything figured out over here. Commend you on that.
Sure. Yeah. You see, you just showing up all the way out here. It's unusual, David. What are you up to? Come on now. And begins slowly taking steps towards you, slinging this hunter styled rifle, bolt action down across his chest, casually beginning to move towards you. Rose, now moving into view, you can see this individual is probably, on the lower end of 6 and change, rather heavy, seemingly well fed, almost jovial in their approach. Come on. Wild
Just
way
kinda
out here, David. What you up to?
take a tentative step or two back.
Come on, you can tell Petey. Go ahead.
Just well, I don't know if you knew this, but my wife is currently not at the camp, so just
Oh,
looking around to see if maybe I can find her.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Well, I'll tell you what. We are not just going to leave one of the stalwart citizens of New Eden just out here to suffer and struggle. Oh, no. Why don't you let us give you and your cute little friend here a ride back, huh?
Well,
Maybe you want to introduce your new friend Roman while you're at it.
I wouldn't want to inconvenience you. I'm sure Roman's got better things to do than just help us with a little bit of transportation. But
Oh, never. Never. Not for you, David.
I'm
see,
nobody special.
Roman has made it very, very clear. He is happy to go out of his way to provide whatever protection and help you need.
Yeah, I've always said that Roman was the most gracious.
Yeah, class act.
Could not agree more. But no, it's a-okay. I think we can make it back on foot, but I do appreciate the offer.
And you see him begin to reach behind his back, towards his back pocket. You hear the clip of a walkie-talkie come out that he slowly brings up. David, I insist. Hey, Roman, I got 2 from New Eden out here.
Just gonna kind of try to turn and whisper to Rose as quiet as possible. Gonna need to be on your best behavior here. I feared this might be the case.
What are you talking about?
The individual begins moving towards you, Rose. Oh, no need to be afraid. We're here to help. See, this
Yes.
dangerous place. It's unpredictable. People go missing all the time. Just threats abound, you know? It's good to have a solid force, a legion behind you.
I always said, if you're in a tight situation, you can count on the Legion. I have your back.
Is that what you said, David? Is that what you
Well,
always say?
Well, I said it yesterday, so I feel like I'm starting a trend.
Roman will be so pleased to hear that.
Hey, you feel free to tell Roman that I said that.
I'll do that. And, you know, as long as we don't have a similar issue to last week, I think Roman's going to be just right as rain.
Yeah, no issue. There's not going to be any issue.
Sure. Being 10 pounds light on food and at least a few gallons light on water, though, I don't know, it put Roman on edge. Sure knew Eden was able to scramble up enough to make sure that Roman would be satisfied this time around.
I checked the numbers myself. We will be perfectly fine. It's my mistake.
Well, I hope so. I really hope so. I'd hate to... Well, you know. Come on. Jump in the truck. I'll get you where you're going.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet, David.
And I'll...
And, you little darling, what's your name there? I'm Petey.
Rose.
It's a pretty name, Rose. Don't worry. You're safe now. Crow and Poppy. After making your way to the hangar and absconding with the helicopter, it seems as if Operative Sexy, definitely not a pilot, but certainly capable enough to get it airborne, and as long as you're mostly going in a straight line, keep it from falling out of the sky. The process of travel itself is pretty straightforward. As long as you have a little bit of velocity, that helps with stability, and once you're going, it's substantially easier to maintain. The prospect of hovering, landing, any kind of agile maneuvering, likely not something you would want to roll the dice on. But after a bit of a rocky start that involved a portion of the armory hangar being sliced just the littlest bit, you and Poppy are airborne and beginning to head the right direction as Operative Sexy is white-knuckling the throttle and trying to maintain an intense focus on the ballast pedals. Are either of you looking to do anything on the traversal over?
Kind of got a bleeding leg that needs a little TLC.
Oh. I can. Okay. I can try. I'm gonna see if I can scrounge up. I don't know. I'm actually gonna go and sit and then stare. I don't. My sister's a lot better at this than me, so you're gonna have to tell me what to do, and I'll just try to do it. That seems reasonable, I think.
You'll know her when you see her. Now that makes sense. You're not Rose.
I've said that for. Yes, I am not Rose.
Got it. Well, nice to finally meet you, Poppy. Heard a lot about you.
Heard some about you. Most of it you probably wouldn't like.
No, I probably would.
So you were with Rose.
Yeah, Rose is back with my sweetheart. Hopefully.
She was okay, right?
Last I saw him, before I got knocked out and dragged off, we just stopped here to take a piss, gather supplies, and then they were heading to the CDC.
Hoping they would still be here. Okay. We'll find the CDC and hopefully she'll be okay.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
smart.
She's got
She's
D
fine.
with her. Ain't nothing gonna happen. And Justin's mostly capable.
Heard some about D too.
They got Mama and all them. They'll be fine.
I mean, you're bleeding a lot.
Got like a tampon or something we can stick in there, or some pliers we can pull out the bullet with, maybe?
I'm sorry, what? Pull out the bullet? We have to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to have those in you.
You can take it. Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. I am going to look around to see if there's anything that could be used to get a bullet out. I don't know what there would be. Something that I could just, like.
There's not really a lot in the way of surgical equipment.
Are there any,
in
like,
a...
pencils or pens that we could, like.
This is largely an attack chopper.
Look.
You're kind of.
I don't
this
know.
is not the personnel carrier that you were originally moving in. This is meant to be much faster, much shorter range, and certainly doesn't have cup holders.
Oh, well, this unfortunately is out of stock currently, so can you just like I don't know.
You are
Push it
definitely
out.
not your sister.
We have different sets of skills. Yes, this is definitely her skill set.
What would you like to try and do?
Well, do we have some pliers?
Nothing really in the way of functional tools. There are, additional rods and metal components that are part of some of the less functional. It's hard to call them cosmetic, as everything is kind of purpose built inside these helicopters. But some of the bracket work that holds in some of the framing on the dash and some of the seat connectors and things of that nature could theoretically be stripped out to create something that resembles rudimentary chopsticks in some capacity, but that's probably being very generous with the technical description.
So we can't just leave it in there?
Pretty sure lead poisoning is an actual thing. I mean, I don't know a lot of things, but I've put a lot of lead in people, so pretty sure it's not supposed to be there.
Right. I'm gonna go up to Sexy.
And just startled, as if you had thrown a
Sorry.
spider on his shoulder. What?
Oh, no,
God
sorry.
damn it.
Do you know how to get a bullet out of a leg without tools?
What do you mean? Without tools? You need tools to do that.
Well, do you know where to find some tools?
Crow, are you shot?
Yeah, took one in the leg.
Shit. Just bandage it
I'm
up.
putting-
Throw a tourniquet on it. We'll get him to Mama.
I don't know. Okay. Okay.
You're fine. You
Nah.
got time.
You have time. You have time.
All right, just we're probably getting close. And you've been flying for maybe the course of several hours. As Crow settles in, Poppy begins to become a little bit more interactive in the confined space, and you go through the process of trying to determine or solve this medical enigma in front of you.
Yeah.
Before you hear Operative Sexy from the front ring out, all right, so here's the thing. If we get close, I'm a little concerned about landing. I never was taught how to do that.
Are you saying we're gonna have to tuck and roll out of a helicopter?
No. I had an idea. It's probably not gonna be. Mama would kill me, but I was thinking I could try to slowly crash us onto the roof.
I'm sorry. It sounded like you just said crash us onto the roof.
Like a controlled landing, but without the
Control?
controlled part, or like a controlled crash. I'm gonna very, very slowly crash us.
All right, Launchpad. Just gonna brace myself.
I'll brace myself when I see Crow bracing himself.
So it's probably pushing into evening by the time you actually arrive. And as you begin to get close, you feel Operative Sexy begin to lower your altitude, pushing from a cruising height to a couple hundred feet above the surface. And even through the roil of the loud noise of the helicopter blades, you hear him go, "Oh, shit." And you look out to see most of the CDC structures split and cracked open, set ablaze on fire, massive portions of walls blown out, destroyed, the entire front glass entryway shattered, and most of the roof caved in directly on top of it.
What the fuck happened here?
This looks like Breaker. I don't think I can land us here.
There's no fucking roof for you to land on.
Well, I mean, there's like a little section. Nope, we should probably not. I'll get us nearby. And you feel yourself hard bank and pitch with this definitive lack of subtlety as Operative Sexy yanks and banks the helicopter at a near 90-degree angle before rapidly overcorrecting and trying to stabilize after shifting direction. It's fine, got it. And slowly begins to tip the nose of the helicopter downward, pushing away from the CDC, but clearly having found a open gap in one of the nearby streets without a significant clogging of cars or barricades or anything to that effect, hoping to provide a bit of a slow slide on the pavement of the street itself. I'm going to need Poppy and Crow. I'll provide you an effort to utilize your fitness. or your grit for this.
$11.
And
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and at that moment you feel the helicopter bounce off the ground for a brief moment before one of the rails kicks off on the other one, and you hear them begin to grind across the street before eventually you can tell that the road itself has given way, catching the front portion of the drop bars on the helicopter that immediately pitches the nose forward, slamming you all with impressive G-forces up against the front portion of the cockpit. Hearing a loud slam as Op Sexy jars about in the cabin before the tail weight eventually counteracts and a slide turns into a slow stop. You see Sexy from the front seat beginning to undo the harness, just like Mom would have done. Kicks open the canopy in the interior, turning around, leaning up against the front of his seat like a child on a road trip. Y'all alive?
Yep. I think so.
Good news. And slowly, with aching bones scraping against one another, he slowly begins to move out of the cockpit, looking to offer a hand to the pair of you as you slowly begin to meander outward. You look down the roadway to see massive tracks of the 2 helicopter bars having ripped up much of the pavement. A CDC structured building in the distance beyond on fire. And there's a certain stillness, but the stillness is extremely short-lived, as the sound of vehicles approaching quickly fills the otherwise very still and silent surrounding interior of this portion of the city. Three separate cars, one dodgy, beat-up looking pickup truck, one that looks to be some kind of extremely fancy Escalade style SUV, something that would have cost upwards of a couple $100,000 before all of this unfolded, but is also a little bit muddy with the grill caked in what we will generously describe as viscera. And then a second vehicle, a low to the ground sports car, similarly flashy, similarly dinged, seemingly available and fulfilling some kind of personal angst more than it being a functional vehicle for this circumstance. You see them all stop in front of you, the dusk now giving way to a bit of a darkened night. Their headlights focused on all of you as you see Sexy kind of holding the pistol grip, the finger off the trigger, but ultimately cautiously ready for what is approaching.
I'm gonna mimic.
I'm gonna mimic too.
And you see an individual step out of the driver's seat. Huge and hefty, surprisingly pale skin, but with this beard that starts just below the eyes and doesn't stop until disappearing away behind the chin. Heavy individual slamming the door closed tightly, beady eyes kind of looking at you through this almost train-style conductor hat. Moves around to the passenger side and opens the door, where you see a separate individual get out, wearing this white collared dress shirt, sleeves rolled up, and a pair of black slacks, a perfect line able to be seen at a distance as if they'd been freshly pressed. The shadows on one side clearly discernible from the shadows on the other. And the gleaming gold of a sword of some kind, matching the glint of what appears to be an extremely extravagant golden wristwatch. The individual begins moving forward slowly. Eyes, operative sexy up and down. Well, look at you. Welcome to my city. What can I do for you?
I'm just looking for my fiance and friends. That cool?
Wait,
We cool?
Petey, is this them? You see another individual step out from this cramped sports car that now barely kind of fits their form. A plaid vest, sewn on jean jacket styled arms, heavy work pants. I don't know, they said they had one of those military folks with them. Doesn't seem like he can fly for shit. And you see Operative Sexy kind of... Well, maybe it is you. You friends with David?
Who?
No? What about you, sweetheart? You one of David's?
I don't know who David is. I'm just looking for my sister.
Petey, what's the other one? See him kind of puzzled for a brief sec. Rose. Rose, I think. What about a Rose? You friends with Rose?
Where is she?
Was there anybody else with her?
Oh, let's settle down. No need to get excited.
We just crashed a fucking helicopter. What do you mean no need to get excited?
Seems as if my hospitality's already being taken advantage of.
We're sorry. Can we go see our friends, please?
Petey, bring David's ass on out here. The secondary vehicle, this beat up truck, is opened and David's form is yanked from it.
All right. Yeah.
A black fabric secured around the mouth, the hands tied in front. Brought forward and stood in front of you. David, you feel Roman's elbows rest on your shoulders, leaning in to speak from behind your ear. David. Now, last time we had tension. You remember what happened, don't you, David? Yeah. I still feel real awful about that, I do. But I need you to understand, I'm trying to build something greater than this, you know? We can't be living, running in fear, scared of the crawly creepies running around the city the entire time. That's where I come in. Provided you and your people protection, didn't I, David? Yeah. I want you to look at their faces. I want you to look very closely, David. Are these friends of yours?
Am I able to get any sideways glance at Rose in this moment?
She is still secured in a vehicle behind you.
It's probably worth noting I do very much look like Rose.
He may not have seen Rose personally yet.
I'll shake my head yes.
Okay. So these are your friends, you're saying? You vouch for their behavior?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. All right. Bring the rose out here. That's a flower, David. That's not a person. Quickly and aggressively adjusts his shirt. The legionary style sword still braced and leaned on his shoulder. Rose, you are aggressively yanked out of the back of the vehicle. Move forward slightly, the illumination obscured when you see Poppy and Crow next to Operative Sexy. Sexy looks back and forth. Oh, so...
Took me a minute too.
And you see Roman turn around. Well, I'll be goddamned. Twins! Holy shit. Is this like a... Should we buy lottery tickets? What's the protocol here, boys? Well, twins or not, I guess. We'll see if they're both as smart as each other. Roman leans in behind you closely again, David. I hope you're right. If they fail, it's on your ass.
Am I gagged in this moment, or am I able to actually speak freely?
You're not gagged outright, it's just covering your mouth, so you can certainly murmur with half clarity.
Yeah, I'll kind of shoot a glance at the three of them, trying to make it a meaningful glance, as I just reply to Roman. I assure you, you won't regret it.
I hope not. New Eden's running low on hope these days. I'm sure they hate to lose your cooking, David. Legion! And you see a scattering of individuals begin to step out of the car, all bearing shotguns or rifles in some capacity. Line them up. We're going to see if we got friends or not.
Can I start to move towards Rose?
And to those of you out there surviving, stay safe. Stay alive.